Hey, what's up everybody? Toby here, and in today's Onshape Quick Tip, we're going to talk about branching and merging. Now, although a single user could take advantage of the branching and merging functionality, it's typically utilized by teams of 2 or more users. So today we've got 2 users. On the left, we've got the user named Toby, and on the right, we've got the user named Todd. Todd is my cousin who's going to be helping us out with today's demonstration. And these 2 users are going to be working on the same assembly project. It's going to be this assembly of the Stirling engine. Now, both of these users have some ideas about how they can improve this design. Todd thinks it'll be a good idea to increase the diameter at the base of this design and maybe add some more hardware, and that will cause this component, the glass sleeve, to increase in diameter. Toby thinks it'll be a good idea to increase the distance between these 2 plates, and when he does, that will increase the height of this glass sleeve. So the question is, how does Onshape handle a scenario where 2 different users are working on the same assembly at the same time, they're both making changes, and these changes are going to end up affecting the geometry of the same part? And the answer to that question is through the magic of branching and merging. And that's what we're going to take a look at in today's video. So we're going to start out here on Todd's screen. And what we're going to do is go into Todd's documents and open this assembly, the Stirling engine assembly. And now we would like to invite some collaborators to work with us on this project. And the way we do that in Onshape is we go to the upper right here and click this blue button that says Share. Then we're going to go and find the email address of that collaborator. And then we're going to choose to give that collaborator can edit rights. We click share. We get a confirmation up top here that that user can edit this project, and that user will receive a notification that a document has been shared with them. The next time that user logs into Onshape, so over here on the left, we can see Toby logging into Onshape. The next time that user clicks shared with me, they'll see that that document has been shared. So here we can see Toby now has access to this Stirling engine project. And it is the entire project. This is not a copy of the assembly or a copy of the project. Toby is now able to view and edit this project in real time. So for example, if I were to take this connecting rod, which is currently oriented at about 90 degrees, and drag it straight down, when I let go, we see that Todd's view of this project updates almost immediately. Or if Toby was to go to the tab called Flywheel and then right mouse button on the flywheel and choose Edit Appearance, as soon as Toby changes the color of that part, we can see that that color change updates in both windows. There's also some really handy collaboration tools and feedback that you get when 2 users are working simultaneously. For example, if Todd were to go to the tab called Displacer, Toby will see in his user interface, Todd's avatar shows up on the tab called Displacer. And similarly, over in Todd's view, he can see Toby's avatar on the tab that says Flywheel. In fact, 2 users could even work on the same part at the same time. So Todd could click here on Flywheel and then launch a new feature, like a whole feature. And as soon as he does, Toby gets feedback indicating that another user is creating a new feature. So Todd could go in here and he could punch a hole right through this face of the fin, and Toby will see that feature show up right away, and vice versa. Toby could get in here and choose to create a new fillet, and Todd gets the feedback another user is creating a new feature. Toby could fillet this fin here, and then Todd would see that change take place immediately. Now, although this idea of 2 users working on the same project and making changes simultaneously is kind of novel and exciting, it might not be exactly what Todd wants. He spent a lot of time getting this assembly into a state that really works well, and he's probably not that excited about a bunch of users logging in and making changes. Or at least Todd wants to create a snapshot of this assembly in its current state so that he can start making drawings and setting parts out for manufacturing, and he'll know that nothing has changed from that state of the project. And so the way we do this in Onshape is through this tab here, Versions and History. What we'll see when we access the Versions and History tab is a workspace called Main. You'll always start out with a workspace called Main. And the workspace designation is this circle that is empty on the inside. Now, What a workspace is it's a state of the assembly that can be edited. So when you're looking at a workspace, you can make changes. And in the case of this workspace, we can also take a look at changes that have already been made to this workspace, like when Too Tall Toby got in there and added that fillet, or when Todd got in there and added that hole. The cool thing is you could always go back to an earlier change in the project and then right mouse button and choose Restore to Main. And what this means is we're going to go back to this point of the project and push that into the current workspace. So the current workspace is going to reflect that point. Basically, we're going to roll back to before we added that fillet and added that 5mm hole. So we choose Restore to Main. That restoration becomes a new record that shows up in the history of changes. And now we can see that we no longer see that hole in the fin. We no longer see that fillet on the fin. So when you're working in a workspace, you can make changes. This means it's editable. And you can also go back and look at the history of that workspace and restore back to an earlier point. Pretty cool stuff. So now that Todd has rolled this project back to a point where he wants to create a locked representation of this entire project, Todd can go to the command create version. And the create version command allows us to create a locked state of this project. Now I'm calling this locked version, but the reality is that anytime you create a version, it will be completely immutable. It will be locked. So when we choose create here, we will see that the version designation is a solid dot. So we've got this solid dot here that's telling us that this is a version of this project. If we look at the main workspace, the workspace is an editable state. So we could go to the tab for flywheel. We could right mouse button on the flywheel and choose edit appearance. And we could change this to a different color, like a green color. When we go back to the locked version, we see that that change is ignored. That change didn't happen in the locked version because the locked version is a snapshot of the entire project in time. We also notice that when we go to the locked version, if we right mouse button on flywheel and choose edit appearance is not there in that menu. And that's because we cannot edit the version. The version is immutable. It is not editable. So if we want to make any changes, we have to make those changes here in what's called a workspace. So we are going to make some changes to this project. We're going to go into a design review meeting. And in the design review meeting, we're going to be asked to change some colors of these parts. We're going to go to the plate on the bottom, and we're going to say edit appearance. We're going to change that plate color to a blue color. We're going to go to the plate on the top. We're going to say edit appearance. We're going to change that to a lighter blue color. And we're going to go to the pins. We're going to right mouse button on those pins and say edit appearance. And we're going to change them to kind of a gold color. So we finished the design review meeting. The team said, let's change it to these colors. And we say, okay, no problem. And now let's lock that version of the assembly. So we're going to choose up top here, create version. And we're going to call this May 5th design review. So now we've got a state of the project, which is completely locked down, just following our May 5th design review. We've got a state of the project before that design review. And we've got a workspace which can continue to be edited. So now both of our users, Todd and Toby, have some ideas about how to improve this design. And we're going to start out with Todd here. And Todd wants to make some changes, wants to experiment a little bit in his own sandbox. He's not sure if these changes are really going to work, so he doesn't want to change the main workspace. Instead, he wants to create a new workspace kind of off to the side. And so the way he can do that is by going to a version, like the locked version or the May 5th design review, doing a right mouse button and choosing branch to create workspace. We're going to create a new branch here, and Todd's idea is to create a wider base. So we're going to say create, and now we see that Todd has created a new branch. He's created a new workspace, so this is editable. This is also editable, main, and the May 5th design review and the locked version are not editable. Those two are immutable. They cannot be changed. And so now Todd has a sandbox where he can do some experimentation with this design. So Todd is going to go back to the main mechanism. He's going to change the sketch here for the diameter of these plates. Let's change this from 92 to 115. And change this sketch here for the glass sleeve. Let's bump that up to 100 millimeters. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Go back to the main assembly. I think maybe since we have this wider diameter now, maybe we should have some more pins going around the outside. So we'll go back here to this circular pattern, and let's change this from 6 instances to 12 instances. So we hit the check mark here, and oh yeah, that looks diesel. I like that. So that's where Todd is going to stop with his changes to this assembly. And again, if we look at the version and history, we could always look and see what changes Todd made. So we edited the sketch of that lower plate, we edited the sketch of the glass sleeve, and we edited the number of instances in that circular pattern. So now let's take a look at Toby's view. So we'll flip over here to Toby's view of this project. And Toby does have full can edit rights to this project. So Toby could certainly go in and see that version and history. He can see that branch that Todd made, and he can go and look and see what changes Todd made. So now Toby wants to do some experimentation with this assembly as well. And instead of overwriting the main workspace or overwriting Todd's changes, Toby's going to make his own branch. So once again, branching off from that May 5th design review, Toby's going to right mouse button and say branch to create workspace. And Toby's going to call this one thicker base. So we choose create here. And now Toby can go in and start making some changes to his workspace. So now we see that this one single project has 3 different workspaces where changes can be made. So Toby's going to get in here and start making changes to this thicker base branch, this workspace. And those changes are going to be here in the main mechanism. We're going to change the distance between those 2 plates. So let's change this from 24 to 32. And when we hit the green check mark, we're going to see that that also caused the glass sleeve to increase in height. And let's take a look at the main assembly. Looks pretty good. Oh, nope. Looks like we're going to need to adjust the height of those pins. So let's go back to the pins here, and we're going to edit the sketch of the pins. And we're going to change this to 30 millimeters. And we'll hit the green check mark. Now let's take a look at that assembly again. And so there we go. Now those pins are the correct height. And I think these changes look pretty good for Toby's branch of this project. And so now if we go back and we look at the versions in history, we can see that we have one branch from Toby called thicker base, one branch from Todd called wider base, and we have the original main workspace. And so if we wanted to, we could click between these two, the main workspace and the wider base, and we could kind of look at the screen, look at the tree, look at the screen, look at the tree. We can kind of see what the differences are, but a much more elegant way to see the differences is we can right mouse button here on this workspace and choose compare. And what Onshape will show us when we do this comparison is the difference between the main workspace and the wider base. And so if we take this slider here and we slide this back and forth, we can see the differences between these workspaces geometrically. But if we look over here on the left, we can also see the differences between these workspaces parametrically. For example, if I click here on the circular pattern, Onshape knows that the circular pattern went from 6 instances to 12 instances. And it's this understanding of the parametric changes that really allows Onshape to efficiently merge multiple workspaces together. So let's take a look back here at this versions and histories. And if we look at the main workspace and we look at the May 5th design review, there's really no changes that took place in the main workspace. The May 5th design review was created and then it was immediately branched. And so nothing really changed between the May 5th design review and the main workspace. And so what this means is we can basically take the wider base changes from Todd and just overwrite the main workspace with those changes. So we're going to do this using a merge. And the way the merge command works is we first click on the destination workspace main, and then we right mouse button on wider base and we choose merge into the current workspace. And Onshape gives us a report and it says, nothing has changed in the main workspace. The only changes taking place are taking place here in the wider base workspace. So this is just going to be a straight overwrite. Basically, we're going to end up with a copy of the wider base workspace in the main workspace. Not really that exciting, I know, but just hold tight for a second. You're going to see something much more exciting in just a moment. And so all these changes from the wider base have been approved, and we're going to push them into the main workspace. And so what we end up with is basically just a duplicate. We have the main workspace and we have the wider base, and they are identical. They are identical workspaces. but now we want to bring in the changes from the thicker base. So basically we want to merge the thicker base and the wider base. The wider base has already been copied into main, so we're going to merge the thicker base into main. Now the question is, what are the changes between those two workspaces? And if we do a right mouse button here on main, we can choose compare. And we can see here that the changes between these two are geometrically visible on screen. And the most significant of these changes is that the glass sleeve is changing in two different directions based on the parameters from two different workspaces. And this is really the magic of the Onshape merge command. See, what we really want here is we really want to capture kind of the best of both workspaces. We want to grab all of the changes from Todd's workspace, which is the diameter of the base has increased and the number of pins going around the perimeter has increased and the glass sleeve has increased in diameter. And we want to grab the changes from Toby's branch. So in Toby's workspace, we can see that the distance between these plates has increased, which means that the height of the glass sleeve has increased and the height of the pins has increased. And this is really where we get to see the magic of the merge command, because those two workspaces have parameters that are now going to be combined, and they're going to leave us with a geometrically unique workspace. So when we go back to the workspace called main, and then we right mouse button on the workspace called thicker base, we're going to choose merge into current workspace, and some of the changes from main are going to be retained, and some of the changes from the thicker base are going to be retained. And this is where the merge happens. And the only way this can really happen is because Onshape understands the parametric changes that have taken place between those different workspaces. So Onshape is going to look at all those parametric changes, it's going to combine them together and leave us with a new geometrically unique solution. So we can see here that what's happening is some of the changes from thicker base are kept, some of the changes from wider base are kept, everything is merged together, and so we end up with this brand new workspace called main. It's not the same as thicker base, and it's not the same as wider base. Onshape has taken the changes in parameters from those different workspaces and has merged them together, leaving us with a geometrically unique solution. So now we can see that we've got the diameter of the upper and lower plate has increased, the number of pins has increased, the diameter of the glass sleeve has increased, the distance between the plates has increased, which means the height of the glass sleeve has increased, and the length of the pins has increased. And that is really the magic of the branch and merge command. And that's where we're going to end the video today. But if you want to learn some more about branching and merging, take a look down in the description. I've included a link to an excellent playlist that'll make a great companion to this video. It'll cover a lot more of the terminology we use when branching and merging in Onshape. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video, and let me know if you have any questions about branching and merging. And be sure to come back for the next Onshape Quick Tip.